When Toyota replaces their SUVs and their pickup trucks, they take their sweet time, but it's worth the wait. I'm Nima from MVL Leasing, and this is a 2023 Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro. Don't forget to like and subscribe and make fun of me in the comments. And don't forget to hit that bell so you know every time we release a new video. The last Toyota Sequoia had a 13 or 14 year life cycle. This is what I mean when I say Toyota really takes their time when it comes to replacing their SUV. The Sequoia is the biggest one they make based on the Tundra pickup truck. So when they take their time, it's because they want a car that's going to last a really long time, which is something that Toyota is known for. So that last one had an iForce V8, which was 5.7 liters naturally aspirated. It was a great engine, ran on almost any fuel, lasted forever, very unsophisticated, which is where it got all its longevity. Not very efficient, but again, did the job. But it was time to change all that. And by the time they wanted to replace the Sequoia, Toyota has really kind of taken ownership and run with this whole hybrid thing. So the main thing that's different about the new Toyota Sequoia that is common to all of the cars that they've been replacing is the hybrid technology that they integrate. So that 5.7 liter iForce V8 that they threw in the garbage and replaced with this was inefficient by today's standards. So what this one has in place is actually a twin turbo 3.4 liter V6 with hybrid. So it has about 437 horsepower, which is quite a bit for a V6, and has well over 500 foot-pounds of torque. And you need it because look at the size of this thing. Now this one is a TRD Pro trim level. This one is pretty much top of the range when it comes to capability. They have other ones like the Platinum and the Capstone, which are top of the range when it comes to luxury. But you guys can tell just by looking at this one, at this particular model, that this Sequoia means business. If your business is climbing boulders and driving through the forest. So we'll start off at the front end. The grille is what they call a heritage grille, where you kind of have the Toyota nameplate that's kind of built into here. You don't have that oval logo on these guys. You have these nice big hexagon shaped grille, and its cool thing is that it's got this integrated light bar that's in the middle here for off-road use. Bright LEDs. You also have these orange ones right on top of your heritage logo that kind of are indicative of something that is really big in size, kind of like that G-Wagon 4x4 squared we reviewed earlier. You'll notice that you have the nice LED fog lights there too. These are really bright. Doesn't do much now because we're in the building right now, but at nighttime, this really lights up your path. And this is really important, especially when you're out in the wilderness. The headlights are all LED. That now has a new LED signature that's kind of behind this frosted lens here. You have 4 rectangular projectors in here that are adaptive and work with your suspension to kind of point up and down, depending on what you're traversing, or if you're just going up an incline or down an incline. With the TRD Pro, everything is tailored towards off-road. So one thing that you're going to notice, which we'll get the camera down there to show you, is the skid plate that goes underneath there. That's a TRD option only. You only get that with this particular car. The car looks extra mean because you kind of have these trim pieces on top of the hood that have the TRD Pro logo on them. When you're behind the wheel, it seems really aggressive and perfectly ready to drive over anything pretty much. One feature that I like as we make our way around to the side, you're going to see kind of what makes a TRD Pro a TRD Pro. And there's a few things that I want to point out. First, you have your wheel arch trim. Now, this is what Toyota calls technical camouflage. It kind of reminds me of the Army camouflage that the US military or US Army wears that almost looks like a digital camouflage. It's pretty cool. From a distance, it almost looks like a special type of carbon composite, but it's really just plastic that has a really cool patterning in it. And when we go inside the car, you're going to see where they kind of carry on this theme. When you look at these wheels are TRD Pro only, and they're really nice. The wheels are forged and they're made by BBS, my favorite rim company. This is a testament to BBS. They've been around for the very long time that are OEM manufacturers for car makers when it comes to these rims. They don't screw around when it comes to quality, and these ones are no exception. They got a nice matte black finish, and they're wrapped in Wild Peak all-terrain tires made by Falcon. Now these tires, you're going to notice that some of the tread, like not only the regular tread on the tire, it actually has some tread on the sidewalls too. This is probably because you're going to be going through some, or at least it's designed to really shine when you're going through low traction environments like sand, dirt, gravel, boulders. things like that. So if you're hugging something, it still helps kind of get the truck moving. Very sophisticated all-wheel drive system. With that hybrid system, you kind of have an electric motor that really takes the torque to the next level and helps transmit that torque in a way that doesn't just drink fuel. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see that a lot of suspension bits are specific to the TRD Pro as well. Now I can see a bright red extra fat sway bar, which you need because this thing is very top heavy. So you don't want this thing to be swaying and stuff like that. It doesn't stay flat like a 911 or anything like that, but the thicker your sway bar is, the better, more conducive it is to off-road use. The suspension on this car is really fancy. It's actually made by Fox. So these suspension setups are available only on the TRD Pro. When we come over towards the back here, you're gonna see these giant mirrors. With the TRD Pro, they're clad in this nice matte black finish. The car is white, but it has almost like a strip of vinyl that's placed on from the factory that kind of separates it a little bit. So this whole A pillar here is all clad in this, and it kind of changes the silhouette of the car. I think that was a really nice touch too. When you come over here, you got fixed running boards, okay? I think that's a good idea for something like this that's probably gonna be driving through what I had described, because if you have the motorized ones, something hits that, it renders the running board useless. Something cheaper and plastic like this is easy to replace and still does its job and kind of ties in with the whole look with regard to what this thing is capable of. One thing that's kind of, you know, neither here nor there is this giant roof rack. Now, this is good because you can not only comfortably seat 7 passengers in this car, but you can carry considerable weight up here when you're traveling. So it's good for that purpose, which not a lot of people use it for, but at the same time, it kind of changes the silhouette of the car, not necessarily in a good way because it makes it look so much higher. And because of that, you have a little bit of added wind noise when you're driving this car, especially when you have the tread on these tires are extra bricky. So they, that in combination with this provide you know, not so quiet ride. I wouldn't call it loud, but it's just not as quiet as the other models. But you know what? That's a sacrifice you make when you want a car that's a little bit more tailored to off-road use. When we come back here, one thing I forgot to mention up there was that I told you guys in our review with the G-Wagon 4x4 squared, I said most cars have a 5-bolt setup. The G-Wagon 4x4 squared actually has an 8-bolt setup, and this one has a 6-bolt setup. More bolts equates to heavier duty. So when I see that, I know that the car is fully prepared to do all of the off-road things that Toyota claims that it can do. And that's probably a good thing, and it's probably why this is the #1 stolen vehicle to show up on a used car lot in Africa. When we come around to the back here, the car is very, very big. And you're always reminded what model you're looking at because they put these giant Sequoia lettering on the tailgate. I like the rear bumper because they kind of nestle these 2 exhaust pipes in the corner here. And despite having a V6, the car actually has some nice bark. It does actually make a nice sound. And despite the fact that you're missing 2 cylinders, they replaced those 2 cylinders with 2 turbos and included that hybrid tech. So this thing can get up and go even better than the car before it. One thing that's really cool that you're seeing a lot more these days when it comes to vehicles like this from the likes of Toyota, Chevy, GMC, and stuff like that are convenient features like your rear glass. So if I just press this button right here, it unlatches this glass, and I can just open this like this and kind of just put stuff in here without having to commit to opening the whole tailgate. When you have the seats up, it obviously intrudes on a little bit of your cargo capacity, but you can still fit a lot of stuff back here. And the lady who had this car before traded in had about 19 kids, and they all sat in here in complete comfort. For a truck this big, you're gonna need a nice rear view camera. So you have that one right here. It's a wide angle because it's a big car and can be difficult to park and things like that. Totally necessary, along with the parking sensors in the bumper. This trim piece right here nicely, cleverly disguises your tow hitch receiver. So when you're not pulling anything, you can put this in. It's like you don't even have one, because nothing I dislike more than when you have an SUV and you're looking at this trailer hitch and you're not pulling anything. Does a good job of disguising that. Okay guys, now that we're on the inside, I can point out a few of the things that make this TRD Pro special. So first of all, Lots of space in here, okay? This center console is huge. You'll never accidentally hit the elbow of your passenger in this car whatsoever. I want to point out some of the TRD specific things, okay? So first, I'll show you on the door here. So at the top of your door panel, you have this black leather. I don't know if it's real leather, but it is nice and it's stitched in red. And this car, it has with the TRD Pro Interior, you get this red, this nice bright red interior. You got a little accent of it in the middle here with a white stitch. Good contrast. The steering wheel is TRD Pro as well. Has a nice soft touch to it. Has a red stripe at 12 o'clock and a nice TRD logo at the bottom to remind you what trim level you're driving. One thing I wanted to point out is the seats. So they're perforated seats. They're heated, they're cooled. Underneath the perforated leather, you can see the patterning of that technical camouflage that you saw on the wheel arches. That's what I meant when I said they kind of carry on that look onto the inside of the car. The mats on this car are rubber and they kind of have this like, they got the TRD Pro Sequoia logo on it. It shows a picture of a mountain and it's actually looks like a tire tread on the mats. Kind of like a real off-road look and a mat that really kind of suits what this truck is all about. That heritage badge in the front where it spells out the word Toyota is same idea, but a lot smaller with red trim right on your dashboard here. So right in front of your passenger, you have a big Toyota badge nicely spelled out. The only oval logo that you see in the car is on the tailgate and on the steering wheel. And I think that looks really good. You have a really big infotainment screen. So this will show all of your navigation and your music and stuff like that. Nice big switches for your climate control and stuff like that. I know with Range Rovers 2017 and older, the buttons and knobs are designed in such a way that you can make adjustments while you're wearing gloves. And that's just kind of, I think, a way to kind of suggest what you can do with these cars or where you're taking them and things of that nature. So you have a traditional shifter right here. It's a TRD shifter. It's clad in leather with a nice red stripe in the middle. It says TRD right on it, PRND, and you have sport mode where you can screw around with the gears yourself. It's a 10-speed gearbox. So that's one thing that will always help the fuel economy of any vehicle is a transmission with more gears. The more gears you have, the more the car will always find a way to stay in a gear that's most efficient, whether you need the torque or you just want the fuel economy. So when you're going on long trips with a Sequoia like this, the longer it spends in 10th gear, the less fuel it's going to use. And you'd be surprised that for a vehicle of this weight and size, what the fuel economy is. You can get almost 20 miles per gallon, which for a car this capable is a very big achievement. A lot of plastic in here, okay? And I'm not complaining about that because the one thing that is synonymous with Toyotas is that they're vehicles that last a long time. So you don't need to have extravagant materials. You need stuff that will stand the test of time. It doesn't always look the best, but that's not Toyota's goal in this particular case. Your dashboard is plastic. You have the trim here where it exposes your cup holders. It looks kind of like a carbon fiber, but it's not. It's really just a textured plastic. I like that. That stuff lasts a long time, easy to clean, stuff like that. You got a nice part here where you can just stand up your phone and your phone can use wireless charging. So you have full Apple CarPlay, so it fully integrates that stuff into your instrument cluster and into your infotainment system and stuff like that. But at least when you have it like this, you can kind of glance at it, and at that point it's not a handheld device, so you can kind of use your phone while you're driving something like this. This center console is huge. So not only do I have enough space to throw my wallet, keys, my cell phone, my drink, this center console here can hold smaller stuff, and if you press this button here, you can open it completely to expose a much deeper storage compartment where you can put a lot of stuff, coins, whatever. The seats are actually pretty comfortable. They're not incredibly well bolstered like some of the sports cars that we've reviewed, but they're not supposed to be. This is so the truck can be a lot easier to get in and out of. And speaking of getting in and out, when you're trying to hop in this thing, that running board really helps because you have to step up into this vehicle. It's pretty tall. It's taller than me, and I'm 6'1", but they put these handles here built into your A-pillars that kind of help hoist yourself in, okay? So if you have problem getting in and out of cars, this probably wouldn't be the one to get. But that's not what this truck's about. It's about being higher off the ground, which is really more conducive to off-road capability. So We're just gonna hop in the back just to show you how comfortable these guys can actually sit. So you see the rear door here is actually really big and opens extra wide. This is just so it's easier for you to get in. But those same handles that are on the A pillar are also on the B pillar for your rear passengers. So it's really easy. Just put your foot like this and you just hoist yourself in. Now I got pretty long legs, okay? But I'm really comfortable back here, and sitting back here is almost as luxurious as sitting in the front, because you have nice features like those unbolstered seats I was telling you about, perforated leather. I think these seats are heated, but I don't think that they're ventilated or anything like that. But these are captain's chairs, and you got a bench in the back where the little ones can sit. And you can fit adults back there without any problem whatsoever. One thing I like, it's always a luxurious thing, and I can see why they put it in a car like this, just because, you know, the idea is they're going to be spending a lot of time outside. And what's outside is sunlight. So you have a lot of these covers here that kind of are, you know, light diffusers that kind of don't let as much sunlight in, and it kind of help diffuse that light. Parents would love this because when you have a baby seat, the last thing you want to do is when you're going on a journey is have the sun beaming in on the window on your child. So you not only have it for this window here, but even for the rear passengers and these rear quarter windows, you have a nice piece that kind of goes up and covers that too. This car is kind of rigged with a bit of mom technology. There is a camera that's kind of mounted onto this is not factory, but there's a camera that's mounted onto the dashboard that is wired to this camera here that is supposed to watch your baby seat. So when you're a driver, rather than trying to have to look around and rely on those weird aspheric mirrors to see what your child is doing, you can just kind of use that. Really useful feature, and if you're a parent, then you know, it's really easy. And I'm not short on headspace here. In fact, where I'm sitting here in the captain's chairs, you can see that there actually is a recess in the roof that kind of gives you a little bit more headroom. So, and the reason for that is probably to accommodate the sunroof cassette. So when the sunroof opens and it comes down, it's got to go somewhere. So they kind of nestled it perfectly right in front of the rear passengers and behind the front passengers. I've highlighted a few details, which you can probably tell why this car is probably one of the most stolen cars in North America. For a few reasons: quality, capability, and rugged good looks. I'm Nima from MVL Leasing. Don't forget to like and subscribe.